I appreciate you all coming out today and also the information that several of you, I think, had provided to staff and then to myself overnight. Looking at the map that we were provided and who did not receive notice, those that didn't receive notice are certainly within the quarter-mile radius. It appears that they were on the list for mail delivery. I don't disbelieve, we do not disbelieve that the applicant didn't mail them, but we've all suffered through rural mail delivery out here as well. I do know for a fact that one of our planning commissioners is within the notice area. It's in one of the homes that should have been delivered to. The list from the assessor has a home address, and I know he receives his mail at a P.O. box, and that's just a personal knowledge thing. So I know there's one place where at least the list that was used may have had an inaccuracy. So the director's talking to the applicant. We are not going to open this hearing today, and I apologize to those that may have taken time. But I also know there's a lot of folks here that had material they wanted to provide us and perhaps some presentations. So those can be sent directly to CDS, so they will be in the packet. And we're asking the applicant to renotice paper, signs, mailings, and we're going to ask that the letters be sent registered so we know who received and who didn't. I don't think anybody in here or the applicant is trying to skirt the system or avoid doing proper notice, but when you have this number of our citizens that are saying they didn't receive notice, we have to side with it. I mean, we're not taking sides, but absolutely believe that there was a problem here, and rather than push forward just because there was a sign and a newspaper notice, when a good chunk, and it looks like about a third of those directly impacted within a quarter mile, I absolutely believe did not receive notice. There's no reason to say you didn't. You know, when you look at the map, it looks as though an entire roadway was missed, and whether that was on the delivery side, disappeared between here and Denver, or Denver back to here, I have opinions, but it's the problem we have with mail ballots as well. So again, apologize for the time you all may have taken to come out here, but it's obviously important to you. So we will renotice, reschedule, and if you had materials, please send them. With that, we will take a brief recess. You're welcome to spend the rest of the afternoon with us. Or if not, I ask you to, you have a moment to leave. Ma'am, did you have something?
I just want to say thank you. Engineering was hand-delivered in my mailbox with a stamp, and it was not postmarked by the post office.
Okay. Do you know who delivered it, or?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's another odd, and again, we can't make people sign for a registered letter, but at least we will be able to know for a fact that, I mean, it's important to us that the letters go out, but of critical importance is the letters are received. So, I mean, one more time and then.
Okay, thank you. So there is a property line dispute. I am not the owner.
For this property itself, if it's of substance to the hearing, we won't hear it now. That wouldn't be fair to the applicant. But.
Got it.
I have a quick question about the registered mail. If it can't be signed for it, is nobody's home at that time? Is it reset?
Generally, they'll leave a receipt or a sticky note saying from the post office saying we tried to deliver. Ask you, and there's blocks. You can ask for redelivery or go pick it up at the post office. Sir.
Is standard procedure, how long would it be for the next hearing?
Yeah, it's got to be noticed at least 10 days beforehand in the paper, and the paper, I believe, takes their notices on, is it Mondays? So being as it's Wednesday, next Monday would be the earliest they could put it in for a 10-day notice after that. So I think Okay, so the July, but likely the July 10th meeting, but okay, ma'am?
And so will people who live inside Deer Creek Farms, a quarter of a mile, will they also be notified too, not just the border?
Yeah, I mean, everybody that was within that quarter mile is, and obviously as neighbors you're talking, so if there's people across the street, let them, I mean, they have you know, all citizens have a voice, but the ones that are most impacted are the ones generally within that radius. And at least in this case, we have a fairly dense population. I mean, when you're out farther east, there may be nobody within a quarter mile other than the people who own a parcel, and surrounding parcels. But I appreciate your time, and again, if nothing else, we gift you back your afternoon. And if you did have material you wanted us to see, please send it to CDS. If there was something, what's that? I would like my voice. Thank you for providing my voice. Alrighty. Well, I did fail to take roll call before that discussion, but as it was not a hearing and no decisions were made regarding the application, I guess that's okay. It is 1:20. Amanda, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Richardson?
Here.
Commissioner Thayer? Here. Commissioner
Here.
Schroeder?
You only get one vote, though.
Commissioner Schroeder?
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum and a bit, I guess. All righty. So we do have a couple of hearings to hold. The first is an SUR for innovative HVAC. I'd accept a motion to open public hearing on this item.
Mr. Chairman, I move we open the public hearing on SUR 2024-2183, innovative HVAC hearing.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to open the public hearing for a SUR for innovative HVAC. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. These all follow kind of the same scheme. The staff will present the application. We'll ask the applicant if they have anything to add. We may have questions for staff or applicant at that time. We'll open for public hearing. If there's items that come up, we may have questions that are directed back at you or staff after any public comment. Then at the close of public comment, if we feel we've got enough information to act on, we'll approve, disapprove, approve with conditions, or if there's some hanging threads or we don't feel we have all the information we need, we could continue. But this seems pretty straightforward for this one. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mark to present the application.
Great, thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioners, I'm Mark Denreader, Director of Community and Economic Development. Yes, we're here to hear Innovative HVAC Home Occupation SUR, case number SUR 2024-2183. This is a request for a special use by review. It's a consideration of an SUR for Innovative Mechanical Solutions. This is an HVAC business. The location of this property is 2183 Thomas Court, Parker, Colorado 80138. Here's some details on the process thus far leading up to today. The applicant is Sherry and Thomas Pies. There was a pre-application meeting that was actually waived by me back in February of this year. We had numerous conversations leading up to a formal application and determined a pre-application meeting was not required, but we did have a community meeting set for them, and they held that on February 26th of this year, and the formal application was submitted on March 28th of this year, and here we are today, on June 12th, for the BOCC. Planning Commission heard this on May 21st, and All noticing was completed as required per our regulations. Just to go back to that Planning Commission piece, just wanted to let you all know, Commissioners, that the Planning Commission did recommend approval with a 5-0 vote. This property is located northwest of Elizabeth. It's in the Thunder Hill subdivision. And here's a starred on the map. You can see exactly where that is within the subdivision. And this just zooms us in a little bit closer here. This is a 3.521 acre property. It's off of Thunder Hill Road and Thomas Court. And this is zoned RA2. If you look at the zoning map there, you can see that the properties to the north, south, and west, those are all residential ag, the RA2, and property to the east, we have an RA1 zoning. Here's the SUR exhibit, and you can see there is a single family home. I'm going to just go to the next zoom in image here for you. There's really very little need for any additional improvements to the property for this SUR. Several outbuildings exist, and they will be utilized for the business, for equipment and storage, fabrication shop, parking. They are proposing to add a 12 by 56 foot construction trailer. This will add about 672 square feet to house some computers, some plasma technology, and allow ample office space for the business. They will identify a drop-off point for any deliveries. Some weeks there will be some deliveries, others there may not be. They've indicated, the applicant, they might receive 1 to 2 deliveries a week from FedEx or UPS. They do not expect to increase traffic to any unreasonable levels. The business hours are going to be 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and that's Monday through Friday. There will be a maximum of 6 on-site employees. 3 of those actually are family members who reside on the property. They also have field positions of installers and service technicians, and these employees work on, off-site, on the job site specifically across the metro area, and they rarely have to come to the office. There may be an occasional company meeting. The business does not serve the general public. That's important to note. And so there's no retail, so no additional traffic will be created with this. Here's a list of the referral responses. You can see just the standard referral entities. There have been no objections. There are no outstanding issues as it pertains to these referral agencies. Here's some other referral agencies. We did not receive responses on these. Now, when you look at our review criteria and point to our land use regulations, or specifically our zoning regulations, you go to Article 3E, and there you'll find criteria for special use by review SUR requests. There are A through H, so there are 8 criteria, and we'll go through these. The first has to do with the use is in harmony and compatible with the surrounding area and neighborhood. Staff believes this business will not disturb the neighborhood based on the plans proposed. The community meeting did take place, and public hearings are available, venues for public to express any concerns as usual. The use will not have an undue burden on available infrastructure. This business, another business rather, was already in place on this site prior to the innovative HVAC application. So no new structures will be built and no additional infrastructure is needed. Number 3 on the review criteria, the use will not unduly increase traffic congestion or burden the existing road system. Again, this is not a retail business and deliveries will be limited. Number 4, the use will not cause significant air, odor, water, noise, or light pollution. There's going to be no impact to air, odor, noise, light. At least that's what's expected here. Number 5, all sanitation requirements will be met. The existing sanitation system will not be impacted. Porta potties will be used. And number 6, the use will be adequately landscape buffered and screened. There's no additional buffering needed based on the way the site is set up presently. Number 7, the use will not otherwise be detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of the present or future inhabitants of Elbert County. The referral agencies were contacted and there are no unresolved issues as we've mentioned. And number 8, supplemental standards are met for specific uses as applicable, and this application aligns with this criteria number 8 as well. So we have found that we, planning staff, recommend to you, the Board of County Commissioners, to approve innovative HVAC special use by review home occupation case number SUR 2024-2183. And the recommendation that we're proposing here is subject to the conditions that follow. And we have these here. Number 1, the applicant will be required to remove the public hearing sign within 7 days of approval by the Board of County Commissioners. Number 2, if any soil is disturbed, it needs to be reseeded with appropriate native seed. Dust and erosion need to be controlled. Noxious weeds must be controlled as well. And number 3, if in the future restrooms are to be installed, then Elbert County Public Health will need to be contacted for OWTS application and permitting. And that concludes our report. We're here for any questions, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mark. Do we have any questions for staff at this time? Or?
I do not. I want to wait till the applicant comes forward.
Alrighty. Yeah, I don't either. I would invite the applicant up just to provide any information that you might think we need that we hadn't heard already.
I think that's about it.
Alrighty. And if I remember speaking with you several months back, that it was one of your new neighbors and a friend that thought this would be a good property for you. Yeah. What kind of business was run there before? Do you know? Or
Construction, it was.
okay.
A lot of ground excavating.
Okay.
Equipment.
Yeah, it was pretty substantial.
Earth-moving,
okay.
A lot of trailers and a lot of tractors.
Yeah. So this looks like it'd be much less impactful than
Less
what was
noisy.
there. Okay. Any questions for? Well, appreciate it. I guess while you are here, the few conditions that were presented, are you okay with those if we were to accept them? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. Do we have any, I'll open for public comment at this time. Do we have any public comment? Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment, and if there's probably nothing else to address, I'd accept a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve SUR 2024-2183, Innovative HVAC, a request for a special use by review of a home occupation for Innovative HVAC located at 2183 Thomas Court, Parker.
And that was with the conditions.
With the conditions of approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve SUR 2024-2183 with the conditions of approval that were presented. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. I'd accept a motion to close public hearing on this item.
Mr. Chairman, I move we close the hearing on SUR 2024-2183, Innovative HVAC, request for a special use by review.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to close public hearing. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. We're out of public hearing and complete. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Few minutes to transition to the next. This is a little different. Same general hearing procedures, but this was a site development plan within the economic development zone. Economic development zone already allows industrial and commercial uses, but within the EDZ, we do bring the actual site plans forward to the Board of County Commissioners, since each one is a bit unique.
Jeff Kane.
Hi, Jeff. This is Mark Denton-Reeder, Director of Community and Economic Development for Elbert County Government, and you are live in a public hearing with the Board of County Commissioners for Elbert County.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. And if you just like to remain there on hold, and if you're needed, you'll be called upon. Thank you.
You bet, thank you.
And Jeff is, just so we could identify him for the purposes of the...
Yes, and Jeff, would you please identify yourself for the record? State your name and your title and your address, please.
My name is Jeffrey Kane. I am attorney for Alpine Ready Mix and Alex Cabriales. I'm with the law firm of Southwest Water and Property Law, LLC in Durango, Colorado. And I'm appearing before you today, Commissioners, to answer any questions you might have related to water rights and related matters for this development application.
Okay. Thank you very much. So we'll go, now that we know who's in the room with us, we'll go ahead and like to take a motion to open the hearing on this item.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to open public hearing on Alpine Ready Mix EDZ site development plan SDP-202-33273-33363.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to open public hearing on the Alpine Ready Mix EDZ site plan. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. With that, again, kind of same scheme, staff presents. We'll let the applicant provide any additional information, may have questions. We'll open for public comment, have any final discussions, and then move forward with a decision. So Mark?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have a presentation for Alpine Ready Mix Economic Development Zone Site Development Plan, case number SDP 2023-33273-33363. The applicant is Alex Cabriales with Cabriales Holdings, LLC. This is a request for an Economic Development Zone Site Development Plan for Alpine Ready Mix. The location is 33363 and 33273 Expertise Trail, Kiowa, Colorado. The process for this application began with a pre-application meeting dating back to 2022. A community meeting was not held because this is not applicable for EDZ applications. It is not required. The application was formally submitted in August of 2023, and with respect to public hearings, Planning Commission also is not required to hear EDZ applications, so that takes us directly to the public hearing in front of you, the Board of County Commissioners. You can see on the slide here the location of the property. This is south of State Highway 86. It's approximately 2 miles west of the town of Kiowa, and there are 2 properties that the applicant owns here, right where that star is located. Here's a zoning map and also depicting the differentiation between those 2 lots, number 5 and number 6. This is 10.69 total acres. So each property is about 5 acres, and the land is zoned agricultural, and of course is included in the economic development zone overlay, which you can see here. This next slide, which shows in yellow the EDZ that runs along State Highway 86. And an aerial map view just zooms in just a bit more so you can get a better sense of this property here and those 2 parcels. Here is the site development plan. The development is going to include many of the essentials of a standard concrete batch plant, items such as batch materials. You'll have gravel, sand, etc., silos, hoppers, stockpiles, washout areas, as well as areas for additional storage and trash bins. Porta potties will be serving this site temporarily. Water will come from the greater 6 Arrow East development and the well within that development. That is within an agreement between the applicant and the 6 Arrow East development owners. On-site power temporarily will be provided via generators. The owner is working with Core Electric to have power on the site, and you'll note that this is also one of the conditions of approval to have power up within a specified time frame. As with all applications for land use, we have referral agencies. This was sent out to all the referral agencies on the list as applicable, and there are no unresolved issues at this time based on the referral agencies. Article 3H4 of the Elbert County zoning regulations has criteria. It's A through H, and this is for site development plan requests, and that does include the economic development zone site development plan requests as well. And there are 8 criteria, and I'm going to go through those with you here. The first is whether the use is in harmony and compatible with the surrounding area and the neighborhood. The property is in harmony and compatible with the surrounding area and neighborhood, given the fact that this property is in the economic development zone. So it does have that agricultural underlying zoning, as do many of the surrounding properties in this area. Letter B, rather, whether the use will not have an undue burden on available infrastructure. There's no undue burden present based on our interpretation. And if you go to C, whether the use will not unduly increase traffic congestion or burden the existing road system. This will not burden the road system. The applicant has provided traffic study that was reviewed by the Colorado Department of Transportation, and there were no objections outstanding on that. D is whether the use will not cause significant air, odor, water, noise, or light pollution. The business will operate during the day only. The product is going to be made and contained on the site, and then it will be transported onto trucks. Water will be from the 6 Arrow well, as mentioned previously, and there will not be odor or air pollution associated with the site. Moving on to E, whether all sanitation requirements will be met. Water will be obtained from the well on 6 Arrow site, and the porta potties will be placed on the site as well, as we have stated. Letter F, whether the use will be adequately landscaped, buffered, and screened. There will be a fence installed with privacy mesh to help with screening for this property. G, whether the use will not otherwise be detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of the present inhabitants of Elbert County. The use will provide an economic opportunity in the county in a designated or planned economic development zone area. And H, whether supplemental standards are met for specific uses as applicable, and none apply here for that. The findings that the planning staff recommends to you, the Board of County Commissioners, is to consider approval with conditions for the Economic Development Zone Site Development Plan for Alpine Ready Mix, which is located at 33273 and 33363 Expertise Trail, Kiowa, Colorado, 80117. Again, the case number on this application is SDP 2023 33273 33363, and this would be subject to these conditions. I'll go through these briefly. The applicant will remove the public hearing sign within 7 days. Number 2, the Economic Development Zone site plan shall not be effective until all fees are paid. Recordation of all appropriate documentation should occur within 180 days of approval. Number 4, the applicant agrees to use their designated 1.57 acre-feet of water from the 6-arrow commercial well, and this would be following the Elbert County 300-year water rule, and agrees to meter and report as required. Number 5, the applicant agrees to follow the information documented in the approved drainage report and will report to the county when the drainage infrastructure is complete. The applicant agrees that temporary generators be used for no more than 6 months and will incorporate permanent power and electric sources in such time and report information to the county of that final implementation. Number 7, the applicant agrees that temporary porta potties will be used for no more than 1 year, and then need to construct a standard sewer OWTS system and let the county know when that takes place. The applicant, number 8, will complete a landscaping plan for the property and submit to the county after that construction piece is done. And then number 9, the applicant will complete a dust mitigation plan and noise reduction plan and provide that to us as well. That's the report here that we have for you today, and I thank you for your time.
Any questions for staff?
Yeah, just a quick comment. Where it says you can use 1.57 acre-feet of water, that's acre-feet of water per year.
Did you have a question for us, sir, or were you just a comment? Yeah. Per year, gotcha. Okay, thank you, sir.
Just a quick question, Mark. There's a lot of conditions here of things that need to happen in the future. How will that be monitored to assure that that's done in a timely fashion?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Commissioner. This will be incumbent upon the applicant to take the lead in terms of reporting back to us. We also will have our internal clocks on the staff side with trigger dates to get with the applicant and do that follow-up. So that's something that we're actually as a team in the planning department we have been developing that as a procedure that needs to take place with all applications, especially as it pertains to conditions of approval.
I appreciate that. It would be real easy for things to fall through the cracks. And once it's approved, once everything's up and running, if we're not really monitoring that closely. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. And that does tie in to our zoning compliance piece of our operation as well in terms of that follow-up. But that's all part of us building our systems and improving our process. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I had it kind of in a similar vein. It was kind of the open-ended, let us know when you're done, but that drainage plan to me is a very important. It's got to be completed and in place before we start operating anything. I mean, they're moving equipment or disturbing soils. And Jeff, are you still online or on the phone with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Question, you had described your representation. Are you actually, do you have the authority to accept conditions of approval for the applicant or have discussions of potential modifications? If
I do not, but I believe Mr. Cabriales is attending.
Oh, so sorry, sir. Well, in that case, then, I would invite the applicant up to present any information that that staff can provide.
My name is Alex Cabriales.
Welcome. Sorry, I didn't recognize you.
Yes, no problem.
Do you have any additional information you'd like to provide that staff did not?
No, I think Mark did a really good job of covering everything we've talked about throughout the application process. We had discussed the conditional approval conditions. There's, I mean, the water's taken care of. That was a huge part of it. That's why Jeff is here, in case you guys have any questions about water rights. I own, there's 11 parcels there that Roy Leak owns. I own 2/11ths of them and 4/11ths additional if I do need more water. You know, with the 2 that we have for now, that should be enough for, you know, what we plan on producing. So what we do now is I own the concrete company. We do driveways and patios and residential concrete for homeowners like you guys. And you know, we in 2018 is kind of when this all started. We wanted to vertically integrate. You know, we're a family-owned and operated business. It's just me and my wife. You know, my dad, he's been in concrete forever, and it's just something that we would think would be really good to vertically integrate and also provide a product. You know, concrete's the most commonly used material on earth, and in Elbert County, for some reason, nobody can get concrete out here. I mean, you have Burnco, but they service primarily big commercial customers. We are more focused on homeowner, residential, and the small mom and pop shop concrete company owners, or even residents. You know, if we have a homeowner call and say, hey, I need 10 yards, 20 yards, that's us. That's what we're more focused on. We're not in direct competition with any of the big guys. You know, we're just a small family-owned and operated business. We just, you know, the discussions I've had with your staff is we'd like to get going with the, you know, conditional approval. That way we can get the wheels going and start. You know, I'm holding this piece of land and I purchased a bunch of equipment, and it's just me, my life savings, trying to do this. I just want to get the wheels rolling to start, you know, making some money back, because it's, you know, it costs a lot. But I understand. You know, so far I've been really pleased with, you know, you guys are encourage small businesses here in Elbert County, which is really hard to do in any other county. I tried in Denver, and it's really hard. It's like there's almost a monopoly within, you know, the bigger companies, or if you don't know someone. So I'm really pleased that Elbert County has, you know, that you guys are even giving us the opportunity to present this to you guys, because coming from a very small company to be able to do something like this here would be a huge deal to us. You know, we plan on complying with everything and being good neighbors to everybody. You know, if any of the neighbors have anything, they can have my personal cell phone, and call me or text me, or, you know, I'm the owner operator. That's what I'll be. So eventually, you know, we plan on growing. We'll have a couple people on staff, but you know, starting out, it'll be me and a couple of people. Eventually, we'll hopefully grow and get the wheels going and hire more people so that we can create more jobs for the people here.
Sounds good. Do you have any questions?
I've just got a quick question. Is the well capacity enough to supply your water plus the other 9 lots if they ever become developed?
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, currently I believe there's a 10-gallon per minute pump installed for the well. And it's possible in the future higher capacity would be installed. I know right now the Leaks who operate the water system, they have not sold any other lots, so there aren't any other users at this time. But certainly Alex will coordinate with them if and when any other users come onto the water system and make sure that there's sufficient pumping capacity and cisterns to allow for a smooth operation and recovery of the well while still staying within the capacity limitations under the water right and the well permit.
And the second question is, reading your presentation and that here, it appeared like that you can only get water from the Denver. What happens to the Arapahoe and the Laramie Foxtail? Have they been transferred to someone else? The water rights for those 2?
Jeff, do you know the answer to that?
I do not. I know that the Leaks adjudicated those water rights for those other aquifers, and I do not know who owns them currently. But I know that the Leaks, when they proposed this subdivision, always utilized just the Denver aquifer water as the water supply.
Yeah, they own like 3 aquifers,
Yes.
3 or 4, I believe.
Thank you.
Just a question, kind of along the same lines. I'm going to show my ignorance here. Our summary of the operation, talking about the amount of water per year, equates to 13,164 cubic yards annually of concrete. How much does a truck hold?
So a cubic yard is 30 to 40 gallons of water.
But when you're going out, when you mix it in the back of your truck and you're taking,
Oh, 10 yards.
it's
10 yards
just
of concrete, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and those are projections. I mean, projections are, you know, hopeful numbers if it did well.
So if you were to max out here, it would be a significant number of trucks
Correct.
a year.
Correct, and I believe that's what the traffic engineer based his study off of, which he signed off on. There's a letter somewhere in there. Yeah, and he based it off of that kind of traffic.
Okay, I just was curious. I didn't know, so I'd ask.
Yes.
Mark, could you pull up the conditions of approval?
Absolutely.
I think we may have. Roll forward. Yeah. For the temporary use of generators, I don't know if you've had much coordination with CORE. Are you comfortable they can actually bring power to you within 6 months? We've had,
Yeah.
when we constructed our new public works facility, that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've already been in communication with them. I filled out the application. They last week just emailed me the contract.
Okay.
So they could probably get started within 30 or whatever, if they're out 30 days or.
Didn't want to place a condition that
Yeah.
you were just, and not being able to achieve, and that's outside of your control, but if you're comfortable with that.
Absolutely. I do have one thing about the generators. So the power that I'm putting in is regular power, not because the batch plant requires 480 3-phase, and what I'm putting in is regular 220. So the batch plant will be operated by a diesel generator. Core is not putting in three-phase at this time. I think it was $140,000 to get it in. I was wondering if, so that would probably take me a year or so to get in the 483
Match
phase.
plant itself off.
Correct, but any like gas generators for, you know, like the portable trailer or whatever, construction trailer, that would be removed and everything would be hooked up to electrical.
And then does the batch plant, would that heavier diesel generator be operating fully throughout the day, or is it just?
No, just
as you need to mix and fill?
intermittently as trucks arrive, we'll fire it up 10 minutes before, get it going, turn it on for, 30 minutes and then turn it off once they leave.
Okay, I appreciate that. I guess at this point I'll open for public comment if there is any, and then we'll probably call you back up again.
Thank you.
Do we have any public comment? Ma'am, please do.
Hi, good morning or afternoon. Tanya Markiel. I'm on the legislative committee for the Stone and Sand Gravel and Ready Mix Division. My questions would be right along with yours with water is obviously the full drainage report hasn't been done. Is that correct? The full drainage report? Okay. So with that, have the stormwater outfalls also been done? And I think that's important to see. And then obviously with the air permits, the ASTM standards, I'd like to see that as well.
Guess we'll ask you back up to address those.
I have no idea what she's talking about. What are you talking about, Tanya?
So stormwater outfalls, just make sure you have those.
Oh, yeah, the retention pond?
Well, we can talk, but
Okay.
then you can present. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I know Tanya.
Yeah, no, I got that. Yeah, so I'd assume from those questions, those are certainly the air quality standards are, yeah, and the air quality standards are at the state level and outside of our permitting, but seems like the two of you have been talking and working together, so that provides comfort. But was there any other public comment? If not, I'll close public comment. Is there any other?
One more quick question.
Yeah, if you could.
Now, based on your presentation, I wasn't sure if I figured it out. Do you have the trucks that haul this concrete to the customer, or is it a third party that comes and gets?
Yes, that's correct. The trucks will be a third party, so they're leasers, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think you said you do some flat work, and so you have trucks that you may lease for your own.
Absolutely. We'll use it also for our own company.
The work you're doing, putting down concrete, and then
that is
you'll
correct.
have other retail customers.
That is correct. So we'll do both. We'll make concrete for our own use and to sell to retail customers.
Okay. So again, I guess the only concerns I have in the way some of these were written is, okay, you're gonna inform us when the drainage is complete. Well, that's nice, but if you never complete it and you never inform us, there's no teeth here, and I'm not saying I mistrust you, but you have, when do you feel, number 5, having your drainage report complete and infrastructure in place for that? I mean, it's a condition we're putting on you, but I'm not sure if it's...
I could have that in probably a month and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. As I think all are, let's see, 6 months, no more than 6 months. And then the dust and noise reduction plans and the landscaping plans, is that in the same general timeline, or?
Yeah, we're gonna try to get everything
I guess
done as soon
what
as
I'd
possible.
like is, we generally give you 6 months to get everything recorded. Obviously, I know you want to get done earlier, but I think having that complete upon the reports and the plans in place upon recording of the final site plan, I think would make that a little more clear to everybody that we don't have the site plan and then a report to follow afterwards.
Okay.
If those alterations were made, just that the approved drainage report and drainage infrastructure complete upon recordation. So I guess 5, 8, and 9 would be concurrent with the recording of the final site plan with the county, if that's good for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Those changes to those conditions work for you, I think we could go forward.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Chair, we can make those adjustments
No.
For any resolution.
Alrighty, I appreciate that. So, anything else? Alrighty, I would accept a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve Alpine Ready Mix EDZ Site Development Plan SDP 2023-33273 and 33363 with the conditions of approval as amended.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the Alpine Ready Mix EDZ site plan with conditions as amended. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. I'd accept a motion to close public hearing on this item.
Mr. Chair, I move we close public hearing on Alpine Ready Mix EDZ Site Development Plan, case SDP 2023-33273 and 33363.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second to close public hearing on the Alpine Ready Mix EDZ site plan. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you,
for
guys.
hanging
Appreciate
with us throughout. I know there were some frustrations, but
Thank you, guys.
this has worked out well. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you working with us.
Good luck.
Lost everybody. So disappointing.
One more item, sir, regulation updates. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Pardon me, Mr. Chair.
All righty. So the next item we have is consideration of some housekeeping items and regulatory updates. These two are done in public hearing, so I would accept a motion to open public hearing for regulation updates.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we open the hearing for regulation updates, agenda item 2024-147.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to open public hearing for these regulation updates. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. We're in public hearing. Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. It's Mark again. We went to the Planning Commission with these proposed regulation updates on April 16 of this year. There was a vote of 5-0 to recommend approval for the Board of County Commissioners. Per our regulations, there is a noticing requirement once it leaves Planning Commission, and then before it goes to the Board of County Commissioners, there needs to be noticed a 30-day in advance of that BOCC hearing, and that did take place. And we have 8 proposed changes, basic categories, if you will, just a few to highlight. One was the concept brief language, taking it from the concept plan. That was approved actually by you back in 2022, but those changes never made it to a formal regulation update per se. So that was included in this this proposal. There was a short-term rental addition to the regulations, some language there allowing short-term rentals. There's also some adjustments to road acceptance, some language made it clear as to what the county will and will not do as it pertains to accepting roads within the county. There was also another piece related to zoning compliance, and it was just a change between two words. One that made it that was important to catch up to state statute as it pertains to enforcement. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to go over those with you. And thank you for your consideration of these regulation updates.
Just based on our discussion earlier in the meeting, can we take a look at the notice requirement changes?
And pardon me, Mr. Chair, are you asking us as staff to take a look at it in greater detail for another round of updates?
Discuss here at the table.
Oh, okay. Pardon me, I'm not hearing properly or something. I'll take a back seat. Sorry. Excuse me.
I'm just wondering after our events earlier, if we would want to make the change to be a little more definitive and require certified or registered mail for notice. I know it adds expense to an applicant, but it would make it crystal clear whether notice was received. I mean, I have faith our applicants are sending things out. I have less faith in the U.S. Postal Service that they're getting delivered. So.
No, I agree. I know it may seem a little more onerous on the applicant and costly, particularly in some of our more developed areas. A quarter-mile radius could be quite a few letters going out, but it does avoid any ambiguity on whether or not these were actually sent, delivered, received. And I would hate to think that anybody would take advantage of a situation and say we didn't get it in hopes that we would continue, but that would, if that was being done, it would take that off the table for sure.
Yes, agreed. Thank you for the comments. We can, is that something that you would like us to consider for the next round of proposed updates, or something that we actually incorporate into this directly here?
I'd be ready to incorporate it directly, but what is the planned schedule of updates after this? If we have something coming up very soon, I think we could wait.
Yeah,
we're several months out again.
It still will be several months out. Again, just with noticing, you know, of course, as I mentioned, to get to you, it's 30 days. And then with Planning Commission, our next round has not been presented to them yet.
Probably now with just the insertion of registered or certified, honestly, I'd leave it to staff. I'm not sure which one is the correct one that ensures that we have positive proof that something was received, which I think might be registered. I always get the two confused. So if whichever one requires a recipient to sign and acknowledge receipt, I think is what we're looking for.
I don't know if it's in there or not, but if it is, I missed it. We've talked about several times about limiting the length of continuances in hearings. Either the number of them or the time, I'm not quite sure what the right description is, but some of these things seem to go on forever, and they lose some of their continuity in terms of notification to the public and those kind of things, and to us.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. That particular proposed adjustment is not included in this round, but it is on our priority list that we're whittling down now for the current round we're working on.
Okay, so I think that's, probably outside of the scope of what was brought to us, but if that's the practice we've put in place now until we make it regulatory, I would just ask us, I guess, maintain that as the practice, but if we do have continuances prior to making that regulatory, let's make sure that discussion is prompted with the applicant, just so you know, we'll give you this one.
And what would you think when you do that, would it be 30 days would be the right number, or would it be 2 hearings, or what do you think?
Yeah, we're with staff, we're still in discussions as to what would be best based on our perspectives. So I don't have an exact proposal, to provide you right now. But we're considering, 2 things, obviously, the numbers of continuances and then the time frame and the max limit of time that can transpire.
Yeah, I can't find the language anymore. But on number 7 on road acceptance, we've had some discussions and questions that have come up the last 2 or 3 months about acceptance of the subdivisions and their roads and how that affects signage. Did I say something wrong? It took me and to make it clear that if that subdivision is taking acceptance of those roads, but that they're also taking responsibility for the road signs, the street name signs, the stop signs, the yields, whatever else is involved with that, so that it's very, very clear that that's their responsibility to maintain that up to standard safety protocols.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. We will look at that particular area within the regs, and if we have to, bolster that a bit with, the other responsibilities, that makes good sense. We can look at that.
Just so it's very clear. Right now, it's a little squishy.
Yeah, more clarity. Okay.
I'd be looking at language like, wherever roads are preserved to serve a new subdivision, the subdivider will arrange for the long-term maintenance of probably the roadway and associated signage or signals. We might as well look to the future and signalization as well, but I think Public Works would probably have the right language, but if we have any other items? Okay, yeah, if not, if you wanted, Mark, if we could probably capture those language changes and we'll continue this and bring it back for a final language approval at our next land use meeting.
Yeah, that sounds great. We'd be pleased to do that. Thank you.
And one of the things I've noticed that since you've been taking over the CDS is that you're incorporating more interdepartmental conversations. Does that need to be stipulated, or is that just good operating practice?
Yeah, thank you, sir. I'd go with the latter.
I thought that would be the answer.
And then, I think when we bring it back with the final language, if you have something in there that has the proposed publication date, just so we don't, in 2026, come back to reapprove something we approved in 22?
Yes, agreed.
All right. So with that, I would accept a motion to continue this hearing until, is it the 26th? Is that our? Yeah, till 1 PM on the 26th at this location.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we continue the regulation updates, agenda item 2024-147, till, what was the date again?
The 26th of June.
Till the 26th of June at 1 o'clock.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second to continue this to a date time certain of the 26th of June at 1 PM, and we'll hold that at this location. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Any more business for us today, Mark?
No, thank you, sir.
Okay, so with that, having no more business before us, I would accept a motion to adjourn for the day.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a slow second from Dallas. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.